cuties! Today I want to make a video about how to, or rather tips for planning a large-scale ticketed Lolita event. Now when I say a large-scale ticketed Lolita event, I mean it might be closer to 20 people than 100, or it might not. But 20 is still large in some Lolita communities. So really what I mean is a ticketed event that you're going to put more effort into than just making a reservation and putting up tickets online. More than that, where you might have anything from a guest to goodie bags, giveaway prizes, just something more complicated than just a meetup you throw out there. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I did already do a video, I believe, on how to plan a regular old Lolita meetup, and if that's more your pace, you might be interested in starting there. So the first thing you need to do is have as much knowledge of your local Lolita community as possible. Be active in that community, attend meetups, attend local conventions where there are Lolita events. Make sure you do that before you take any steps into this world of planning large Lolita events, because you need the support from the community or nothing's going to happen. So see if you can find help. That's your next step. Now, people might have connections. They might be able to organize something for you, such as goodie bags. They give you important day of organizational help. They could do graphic design. They could do social media management. There are a lot of things that other people can help you with, including possibly splitting costs. So see if you can find a partner, a team, if that's at all possible for you. But I will say that if you're not completely confident in someone, it might not be a good idea to include them in your planning process, because this could just cause you frustration and headaches down the line. So make sure you're confident in the people that you bring onto your team, but see if you can build a team, because it can help you immensely. Now, the next thing is to pick the right time and start planning way in advance. I recommend a minimum of 6 months in advance. A year is probably a good idea. Start planning way in advance and pick the perfect time. Now, when I say pick the perfect time, I mean, yes, spring or summer are going to be better weather and better times of year, but more importantly, when are other large Lolita events happening? When are large anime conventions happening? You don't want your event to be even 1 week apart from these events. If they're too close together, people will say, oh, I don't want to spend the money on 2 events 2 weeks in a row, or oh, I can't take off work 2 weeks in a row. So make sure that you separate your event from anything that the Lolitas in your area are likely to go to also, or instead. Now that you have your time, your team if you're lucky, you need to find your venue. Now you might have your heart set on a venue, and that's okay, but keep a lookout. Go look at several venues, get ideas about them, figure out the pricing, figure out what they can and can't accommodate, and consider all of that. And pick your venue and get it booked. Get it booked as soon as possible. I said start planning as soon as possible, then you need to get your venue booked as soon as possible, because you need that date and that venue to make your event page. So you want to make a Facebook event page so people can start planning to attend your event. You want to do that as soon as possible. So making a timeline for yourself is probably a good idea. So once you have your venue and your date and your Facebook page, well, before all of that, make sure you can afford to do this before you do it. The venue is going to cost a lot of money. They're going to have a non-refundable deposit. If things go wrong, and they can go wrong, you could be losing a lot of money on this event. So if that's going to break you, maybe this is not a good time for you in your life to be planning this kind of event. Make sure you're looking out for yourself. So consider what you could lose and whether it's really a good idea for you to be planning this event. Now, onto a more cheerful, less gloomy note. Once you've got your date, your venue, your event page, you can plan out your budget. Now, you need to plan out your budget to determine your ticket prices. You need the cost of the venue, the cost of catering if that's separate, the cost of all your supplies, be it goodie bags, decorations, every supply you can think of. You need to estimate and add together the cost of all of that, and then divide it by the number of attendees, and that's your rough estimate ticket price. You also need to add in any fees that ticketing websites will take. I recommend using a PayPal button instead of a ticketing website so that you're just paying the PayPal fee and not PayPal fee and a fee to another website. But anyways, you want to get those tickets up as soon as possible. So get that budget done, and then you have your ticket price. Aim to have your ticket paid for, and that's it. Don't aim to make a profit. Aim to have your ticket paid for and expect to lose a little bit of money. If you try to profit off of these events, they're going to be more expensive. People are going to see that reflected in the price. They're going to be less likely to come. Also, I have not worked to profit off of the events I've planned, and I've had, on more than one occasion, people criticizing me for charging so much or for attempting to profit off of the Lolita community when I'm not profiting off of the Lolita community. So don't give them more opportunity, and just do this if you're genuinely wanting to better the Lolita community, create an event for the Lolita community, put something together for these people in your community. Don't do it for profit. I would not recommend that because you're going to find it a very difficult place to make a profit. Now, you are going to have things coming out of your bank account, maybe going onto a credit card as early as the booking of the venue. If you want to try to pay some of that down, have money available, you want to sell tickets earlier. I would recommend that if it's going to benefit you to have tickets sold sooner, you do either staggered pricing like anime conventions do, where, if you buy for an early bird ticket it costs this much, and then if you buy closer to the event it costs this much. You could do a promotion where you say, if you buy this month, or the first 10 people to buy tickets get either a special gift or extra tickets for giveaway prizes. That can be a really good way to increase your early ticket sales. So people don't just all buy their tickets last minute, because a lot of people are just going to buy their tickets last minute if they don't have any reason not to do so. So keep that in mind. Now, are you going to have goodie bags, a special souvenir, giveaway prizes? Don't wait until the last minute to put that together. Make sure you're contacting indie brands, preferably a few months in advance, just to give them the time. They might be willing to help you with giveaway prizes. They could give you coupons, postcards to put into your goodie bags, and a lot of them will be willing to work with you on that. If you want to order cheap goodies from China for your goodie bags, which I very much recommend, you might need to give them 5 weeks to ship that. Seriously. So make sure you're doing all of these things in advance. Another thing you don't want to wait till the last minute on is a photographer. This is a fashion event. People are going to want pictures of their outfits. You need a photographer at a fashion event. You might have it in the budget to pay for a photographer, so that's fantastic. A lot of times you will not. And being in the Lolita community, being active in the Lolita community, as I pointed out, is a very important first step. You will probably find photographers who are very interested in photographing Lolita and who would be happy to work this event for you, for just a free ticket and their meal paid for. They might actually be a Lolita themselves, or they might be kind of a convention photographer. It's basically the same thing convention photographers do. They get to come to your event for free and they take the pictures for you, and you get to use the pictures. That's usually the best thing to set up, but make sure that if you're not paying for your photographer especially, you show them a lot of appreciation, because they are doing you a big favor. This is a great service they're doing for you. So give them a thank you note or something, a little gift, something nice, a card. Just make sure you appreciate your photographer and show them. If you're considering having a special guest, if this is your very first time planning one of these styles of events, you want to wait on that probably. Even if it's, you know, a smaller guest from your own country, I would wait until you have experience planning these kinds of events before you pull them in. Take it one step at a time. Don't rush into things so that you can do a better job. If you are going to have a special guest regardless, or if you've done some events like this before and you're just watching this video to see if there's anything new I can suggest, make sure you get a guest handler for your special guest. Have someone whose job it is specifically to take care of your guest. Make sure they're comfortable, make sure they have water whenever they need. Make sure there's somebody available to them at all times who can help them. That's always important. And as far as you, at the event you're going to be very, very, very busy, right? But try to speak to every individual there. If it's a huge event, it's not going to be possible, but speak to as many people as you can. Try to make sure people are feeling included, having a good time, because that's why you're putting this event on, is for all of the people in your Lolita community to have a good time. So make sure that nobody's feeling left out or anything like that. Now, if you've just wrapped up one of these events and you want to keep doing them in the future, I recommend getting a survey out as soon as possible. Make a survey with plenty of comment sections so that people can tell you what their favorite things were and what you can do better next time. Now that's going to be a very, very valuable resource for you if you want to continue doing these kinds of events. So I do recommend that. I recommend getting it out as soon as possible. Not everybody's going to notice or do the survey, but go ahead and get it out there. Also make sure to post a few things after the event, thanking people for coming, thanking any people who sponsored you, like indie brands who supplied prizes, anything like that. That's a great thing to do, is to make posts after the event like that. Now, I saved this for the end of the video, but one of my favorite parts of doing these types of events is goodie bags. I really like to do goodie bags. So I wanted to talk about some goodie bag ideas. Now, I basically always get the actual physical bags from Papermart, which I believe is papermart.com. I've gotten this style a few times, just sheer white polka dots. I might get them in pink. This is a good size usually. It depends on what you're planning to put in it, of course, but this is a pretty good size. And I like to get the fabric bags because people will take those and reuse them for something else. In the past, I've had embroidered burlap bags and things like that. It's good to mix it up if you're doing multiple events like this, but that's where I get my bags. And then in recent years, I've been buying a lot of my little goodies from AliExpress. Some really good options for little goodies that aren't too expensive are socks, wrist cuffs, especially in the summer. Make sure you're getting a variety there so people can trade, because you know, you'll get a lot of people saying, I don't wear pastels, or I don't wear black. So getting a variety of things that people have to kind of trade can help people interact, and it can kind of help start conversations. So it is kind of a good thing in a way, but make sure you don't just all have one color that not everyone is going to use. I always include a little bit of candy in the goodie bags. Some people might not be able to eat it, but you know, it's one of the cheapest things that goes in there, so it's not a big deal. You can include handwritten thank you cards if you're not having a huge ton of people at the event. I've done that a couple times. And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can full out personalize them and write a whole message, or you can just say, thank you for attending the event, a little heart, and be done with it. So the cards are nice. One thing that I have done in the past that was really neat and special, and I kind of wished I had gotten to continue doing, is I would make a custom blend tea themed for the event and give every person in their goodie bag a little individual bag of this tea. Or one time I did a whole tin, but that with about 3 servings worth, but that got expensive. So that was a really cute and fun idea, and you might be able to come up with something based off of that, something themed around your event, cosmetics maybe. The last goodie bags I made, I found some of those little lipsticks that are sheer and color changing, and they have flowers, actual flowers inside of the lipstick tube. So you can find those really cheap on AliExpress. Get creative with it. Ask your friends for tips if you can't think of anything. But just a nice little accessory, some candy, a card, if you can get some coupons from somewhere. Just little things add up really quick. And of course, if you're having giveaway prizes, you can include tickets in the bag, and that helps to fill up the bag as well. So I really hope this video has been helpful. I hope that somebody's gotten something out of it. I hope that all of your events go to plan and just beautifully. And I hope that you guys have a great day and have fun until next time.